Hey anime fans, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an epic list for you. Top 10 anime with overpowered main characters. Get ready to dive into worlds where the protagonist can take down entire armies, crush their enemies, and still looking cool doing it. So grab your snacks, hit that like button, and let's jump in. Number 10, just chilling in another world with level 2 super cheap powers. The story follows the typical isekai trope. The guy gets transported to another world, but this time he gets isekai'd from a fantasy world into a different fantasy world. Unlike other isekai, he doesn't start out overpowered. Instead, he reaches level 2 and then his stats turn infinite, making him OP at that point. I was like, what? At level 2? That's crazy. Rising of the Shield Hero, with the MC being severely underestimated, ignored, and wanting to be killed. He didn't have any divine blessing or cheat, and it's indeed true, for like a few minutes. Literally a few minutes later, he killed like 3 slimes and leveled up to level 2. The twist of the story is somehow the MC got a wife in 2 episodes, and just by beating her in a fight, which didn't make much sense, but surprisingly the chemistry of the MC and his wife were able to be built slowly afterwards. There are some jokes here and there, but the flow is good, and if you like isekais, this is a decent choice if you want to pass some time. Next up at number 9, So I'm a Spider. So what? The story follows Kumoko as she's reincarnated as a spider, as the title suggests, but she's not the only one. Seems her entire class also has been isekai'd. As we follow 2 different sides of a tale. On one end, you have the actual important stuff where we follow the cutest spider in the world trying to live and thrive in a massively difficult dungeon with many dangerous monsters, while our spider is a spider. This part is actually great. We see our characters using to their full extent her build as a spider and her human intelligence to deal with odds she shouldn't realistically be able to face. Then we have the human parts. As a manga reader, I didn't have to see those, and I can understand that one may find those boring, but they are still rather helpful in giving away information that you otherwise would have to guess. The human parts are rather bland, but serve to compare how easy they have it compared to Kumoko, who has to live her life on a very thin thread. As I said, it's the entertaining parts of the show. She's wild, energetic, and fun, and I could watch her for ages. Going through the motions, Kumoko now seems to have a mix of 2 shows that are coming together, much like another show in Irefurita did beforehand. It's fun in parts and entertaining in others, for sure, so I'm gonna keep watching for the spider alone, so give it a watch. Number 8, Cautious Hero. The hero's overpowered, but overly cautious. It's just an unoriginal isekai with a goddess who just summoned a hero from our or another world to help another world. Konosuba has made it before, an isekai comedy sitcom, but now instead of Kazuma, we have Saya, a cautious hero. Very cautious hero. Summoned by a useless goddess named Rista, who is just a goddess of support. She can heal and just that. They were going to save another world from 4 Demon Lord. What a classic MMORPG game. Anime. But that just is a big plot for this anime. But what is in between is a fucking sitcom comedy. If you are going to watch this show for a super serious action fantasy show like The Rising of Shield Hero, then I was going to be disappointed because you could guess by the title, the hero is overpowered. Yes, from the title, the MC is actually OP, but not that much from the middle point. I'm not gonna go spoiling y'all. Summary of this is an unoriginal but actually very great at trying to be an original isekai comedy sitcom show like Konosuba, but it's actually great if you're gonna watch it. Number 7, here we've got Irregular at Magic High School. It's the story of a guy, Shiba Tatsuya, who joined a very first high school as he's been placed in the noob category. He is actually very, and I repeat, very smart and strong, and I would say it talks a lot about terrorism. First half of the show takes place in a magic school where people learn magic, but not like wizardry magic, but a futuristic technology that allows people to use magic. There's a lot of dialogue that may annoy people, but I personally found the dialogue really interesting. There's a school magic competition and multiple magic schools compete in it. Pretty fun to watch. The second half gets even better. It's about another organization trying to sabotage the Magic High competition, and it goes even further than that. The ass kicking that goes on in the second half was the best. I enjoyed the anime so much, and I'm guessing that this is where I recommend this anime to people. I definitely recommend this anime to anyone that likes magic and badass main characters and can sit through some dialogue that I know a lot of people dislike. Number 6, problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? Have you ever had one of those moments where after you finish watching an anime series, you got the feeling of, damn, I wish I finished this sooner? Or maybe after you finished watching it, you thought, this needs a season 2. Well, this anime falls into that category. First, let's talk about the story. Not going into this too deeply, this story is about 3 kids from different backgrounds who have a gift and are sort of bored with their lifestyle until a letter appears, transporting them to this brand new world. The series revolves around gift games. These are prearranged battles with specific rules. In such games, I suppose one could say a wager is placed. I want to explain this more, but I really don't want to spoil anything, so just watch it. The MC is OP as hell in this anime. This series is the golden egg for me in 2013 so far. Well, at least it's amusing and strange enough with its small cast of badass characters. Oh sure, there is some fan service and dirty jokes here and there, but it overall maintains its themes well with the initial premise. Number 5, Mashle, Magic, and Muscles. Well, the start of the series is quite straightforward. There's an unusual kid in a world where your magical prowess determines everything to the point that those who can't use magic are deemed as good as dead. Mash is unable to use said magic and hence has been secretly raised up by his adoptive grandpa in a remote forest in a way that ensured that he trained with muscles and physical strength enough so that he may fend for himself. Now, this made him quite the emotionless dumb guy due to the lack of human interaction and understanding the room or any of the fancy social stuff. This is basically the first 2 EPs. Now, circumstances of course lead to the academy being introduced to the mix, with them requiring to earn some gold coins. You know, accomplish feats, meaning good boy coins kind of thing. Now, this is standard shonen story with a well-defined route and endgame, but it also manages to squeeze a good amount of comedy and parody at the same time. Initially I thought this was like Harry Potter x One Punch Man with maybe a little Black Clover on top. But the more episodes go by, the more I'm convinced that this is just a blatant Harry Potter and One Punch Man ripoff. What? Which it is. I'm fully convinced that it actually is a parody of both, and an awesome and hilarious one at that. Next up at number 4, we have Hellsing Ultimate. You already know the story. It's about a badass vampire named Alucard, that's Dracula backwards, who is a slave of the Hellsing organization. Hellsing is a organization that hunts and kills unwanted vampires with the help of Alucard. Blah blah blah, things are dandy until some fat neo-Nazi major decides to start an army of ghouls, vampires, and destroy London and the Hellsing organization. Then bitches go crazy, shit starts blowing up, and if you want a deep story with drama and romance, you can go fuck off and go watch Clanad while wanking off to your Hirai Suzumiya poster. What? What the fuck? You will not find any deep meaning or morals in this anime. You will have a simple state of mind. Nazi zombie things are invading, and a badass vampire, Alucard, his chain-smoking boss, Sir Integra Hellsing, and his big-breasted assistant, Seras Victoria, are gonna kill every last one of them. I gotta love this storyline for its simplicity. It reminds me of a video game. It's so easy to understand it doesn't fuck around with your head. All these elements are combined into a bloody well-wrapped package. Hellsing Ultimate may sound like a half-assed over-the-top anime, but it follows the rule of cool. The rule of cool is when an anime is just so fucking brutal and awesome that it seems like a masterpiece, even with all of its flaws. Do yourself a favor, stop watching Naruto and making Death Note fan fiction and watch this anime. Grow some balls and watch it already. It'll not disappoint. Next up in the top 3, we have Mob Psycho 100. The premise of this series is pretty simplistic. Mob is the main character, and he's a middle school boy who's an outcast from most of society, including social circles. What separates him from the norm is his psychic abilities. It's quite the quirky show with a lot of comedic elements. Each episode consists of Mob going after spirits, performing an exorcism using his psychic abilities. Along the way, you meet different characters that add to the comedy aspect of this anime, and with this said, story-wise, it's more of a character-driven show, but honestly, I like the simple story and how it goes deeper and deeper into the world building. Conflicts arise later in the series, and the way it's handled between the characters is nothing short of amazing. I don't know about you, but I'm really sick of melodramatic sequences in stories where characters act really stupid and it ruins the quality of the storyline. Mob Psycho 100 doesn't do that. It propels a simple story with endearing characters. I'm honestly so surprised how much world building we got in 12 episodes without it feeling rushed. Through the comedy, stunning action, great characters, and unraveling the plot, this anime doesn't fail to assume me. I highly highly recommend this anime. Next up, the number 2 is The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. The protagonist in this story, Saiki, is a boy that was born with psychic powers in a normal world. He can read minds, he can teleport from one place to another, he can restore things, people included, to their previous state in the past, and these 3 are just a few examples of all that he can do. Saiki is so powerful that if he wanted to, he could single-handedly take control of the earth in a few days, and is that his intention? Hell no! He just wants to live a quiet life, and I can already tell you that he isn't even close to having one. From his family to his classmates to seemingly anyone he meets, everyone is a weirdo, and they are all hilarious and awesome in their very own way and won't let Saiki alone for a second. Saiki Kusuno no Wanan is a very original and hilarious comedy, full of lovable characters that'll make you laugh from start to end. If you're a fan of comedy anime, make sure to watch this one, and if you aren't, I still heavily recommend that you give it a try because it's probable that it will greatly surprise you. Number 1 here, we have Charlotte. It all starts with Meteor, which gives special powers to childs till their teen years strike. Then they forget about their powers and completely lose them. And of course, Jun Madea, famous for making Clannad and Angel Beats, writes this anime enforcing some melodrama in the middle of the anime. While a mere teen, Otsaka Yu has to cure them all from their disease so that they won't be experimented on by the government. At the start of the anime, Yu has the power to plunder other abilities, but he doesn't know that, and he has the power to control someone for a certain amount of time. And he gets busted, but not by the government, but by some students who force him not to abuse his power and enroll their school where people with supernatural abilities like them are. And they need to enroll more students. Yu needs to remove every ability from all ability users, and to do that, he must overcome a lot of obstacles. Hope I've informed you guys enough. You should check it out and give it a try. And that's our list of the top 10 anime with overpowered main characters. Did your favorite make the cut? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with fellow anime lovers, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss an update from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.